Greetings, dear brothers and sisters. Pastor Daniel, greeting you from Ukraine, Lviv, from St. John United Methodist Church and our organization Youth to Jesus. Greetings, dear brothers and sisters. My name is Volodymyr, the same name as our president, Zelensky. And I have a word for you, just some reflections about one topic from the Bible and one moment from the Jesus story, which I think is very similar to the things that we are going through on this moment of our history of our country and history of our church, which is on this point we have a war with Russia. It's already more than months we are in the war, and in this city we have regular sirens and a couple times our city was bombed with Russian bombs. And now I'm recording this video from our church, which is the place for the hosting the refugees, and there's people who's from different cities, which is now in the middle of the fight, and some people came here and we are hosting them and helping them. They live here in the church. So this is just the basic situation that we have now, and let's go to the word and let's think what God have for us. We can open the Bible from the Gospel of Mark, chapter 4, verse 35-41. Probably you heard many times that topic, and the kids in the Sunday school, they was painting some things from this point, and from these passages. It's very known, but I think today God will show some specific things that we can take from the Word and apply it for our life. So let's read it from the Mark 4, verse 35 till 41. That day when evening came, he said to his disciples, "Let us go over to the other side." Leaving the crowd behind, they took him along, just as he was in the boat. There were also other boats with him. A furious squall came up, and the waves broke over the boat so that it was nearly swamped. Jesus was in the stern, sleeping on the cushion. And the disciples woke him and said to him, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" He got up, rebuked the wind, and said to the waves, "Quiet, be still." Then the wind died down, and it was completely calm. He said to his disciples, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?" They were terrified and asked each other, "Who is this? Even the wind and the waves obey him." This is the word of God. So I want to just split this topic, this verses from the Bible and the story on the three things that we can learn from this. And first thing, they get to the point they are walking in Jesus. They met the situation they was never before in that situation. And it's very similar to the things that we are getting in our life in the storms. Many times some people getting to the worst storms, some people getting to just the regular life storms. On this point of our life of our country, first time we are facing the storm, which is the war. And the first thing what we can learn, this is what is our first reaction. what is our first reaction when we get into the storm? How we are acting when we are getting into the storm in our life and in the times when there is big troubles in the country or life. What is our first reaction? Because many times we never know how we will act until we get to the situation, until we get to the point of life when we first time meet this situation face to face. Theoretically, we are reflecting how we will act, how we will love our enemies, how we will love our neighbors. Theoretically, when it's far from us, we are thinking very clearly that we think we will act like this. But when you get to the real story, the real situation, when you face the real enemy, when you face the real fear, you are, first time, you just surprised about your situation, your reaction. You are surprised how you are reacting. And when the war in our country started, I was surprised how many people, how many Christians was acting. Who was doing what? Many people get into the fear, some people getting just very focused on the situation, what they need to do, how they can save their families. And very interesting it was to observe how the church was responding on this situation with the war. So the first thing, the disciple, if you look on these passages, you can see what is the first reaction of the disciples. The first reaction what they have, it's a fear. They were scared that they will die. They were scared that something will happen. This is the end. And on this point, Jesus was with them. He never left them. And the first thing that we need to remember always, that God is the God which is called Emmanuel, which is He is always with us. We should put our trust on the word that we have from the Bible, which is Jesus said in the end of the Gospel of Matthew. He said, I am always with you till the end of the earth, which is a great promise, And the first point is the look on your reaction. We are the people who's not escaping from the emotions. We are people who's not hiding the emotions. We are facing emotions, and with the things what we discover, we go with this to Jesus. We're going to this directly to God and showing Him, and always we are observing what kind of reaction we have. The first thing, our reaction. Look and observe your reaction. The reaction of the disciples was fear, which is very natural, very typical for the people when they get to the trouble, when they're facing the real danger. They get to the fear.